Hi, everybody. It's Jenny with Royal Treatment Travel. I'm making a quick, well, hopefully quick, presentation about using the Lightning Lane multi-pass and single pass system at Walt Disney World. All right, let's get started. And remember, you can watch this over and over. You can pause it. You can rewind it. So if I go too fast for you, please don't stress out. You can skip ahead and go back and things like that. Okay. All right. So first things first, we're going to talk about what Lightning Lane passes are. So Lightning Lane passes, when you go to Walt Disney World, most attractions have two lines. Okay. One is called a standby line. It's free. And most attractions have a standby line. On busy park days, those standby line waits can get quite long. So Disney came up with previously the Fast Pass where you could skip that line and go on a quicker line. Now that is called a Lightning Lane. Okay, so if you're a fan of Lightning McQueen, it's easy to remember. And so you can either choose the standby line where you wait for as long as the posted time is listed, or you can bypass that standby line by using the Lightning Lane. Okay, Lightning Lane. Now, Lightning Lanes are not free, and we're going to go through that a little bit today. So, in order to purchase or get on or reserve times for those Lightning Lanes, you must buy or purchase something called a Lightning Lane multi-pass. A multi-pass is a one-time fee for each person in your party, and that allows you to book Lightning Lanes for the duration of the day that you purchased that pass for. So the Lightning Lane multi-pass, you purchase it one time per person per day that you want to use a multi-pass, meaning you want to access those Lightning Lanes for each person in your party. The price varies. So if you're going to go to Magic Kingdom, then it's going to be the most expensive. And I've seen it like $29 per person in your party. But once you purchase that multi-pass, now you're able to book Lightning Lanes. And we're going to go into that a little bit more. Okay, there's also something called a Lightning Lane single pass. Now, this is completely separate from the multi-pass. The single pass, you don't have to purchase, and you don't have to purchase multi-pass in order to use a single pass. A single pass are those few really popular or newer attractions that you cannot get a Lightning Lane for. So you can't get the multi-pass Lightning Lane. You can get a single pass Lightning Lane, meaning these attractions you have to pay for each attraction, for each person that you want to ride. Okay, so you can still skip the standby line. Some of these attractions don't even have a standby line, so we're getting really confusing now, but I'm going to explain that for you. So let's say Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. That is a new attraction that does not currently offer a standby line. So you would have two choices, and one of which would be to purchase a single pass for each person in your party for that attraction. And that can be $11 per person or $14 per person, but that is, you're paying that fee for one attraction to ride it one time at a time that you have selected based on availability. Okay, hopefully that's not too confusing. Okay, so those attractions that don't have a standby line, that free line, and they maybe require you, like Guardians of the Galaxy, to purchase a single pass if you want to ride it. How do you get on that other line? Don't they have a free line? They do have a free line, but it's called a virtual queue line. So a virtual queue is basically a digital system for those really popular and new rides where the line is just going to be way too long. It's going to be 3 hours long, and it's just going to waste your day. So what Disney does is they set up a virtual queue, which is a digital system that tries to manage that line. So it's a free. You don't pay for virtual queue, but you have to get one in order to get on that standby line. And they're going to give, if you're lucky enough to get that virtual queue number, it's kind of like when you go to the bakery or the deli and you pick a number. Okay, so in the morning or in the afternoon, we'll go through it. You're going to try to get a virtual queue. And if you get one, it's going to give you a number, and then it's going to give you an estimation of when you're going to be able to ride that ride, meaning when you're going to be able to get on the standby line. Okay, so it's not, a virtual queue is not getting you on the Lightning Lane. Just to be clear, for something like Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind, you're going to want to either try to get the virtual queue, which is free, and get on the standby line when your number is called, or you have to purchase that Lightning Lane single pass, which means you're purchasing that attraction for each person that wants to ride that ride individually. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about virtual queues. So again, virtual queues are free, and some of them are also available as Lightning Lane single pass, which is money. Some of them do come with your multi-pass. We're going back to the first pass we're talking about, which is the multi-pass, which the multi-pass, you purchase it once for each person in your party, and then you can use lots of Lightning Lanes for the day. And I'm going to give you the list of what counts and all of that. So if you're like stressed out already, don't be. And remember, you can call me anytime and we'll talk more about it. So in terms of the virtual queue, so Tron, which is in Magic Kingdom, you see that at the top of my screen, and Tiana's Bayou Adventure, those are both at Magic Kingdom. Currently, they both offer a virtual queue to get on it. Tron also offers a single pass, Lightning Lane single pass, meaning you pay just to get on Tron for your party. Tiana's Bayou Adventure, however, is a regular Lightning Lane, meaning if you buy a multi-pass, you can theoretically get onto Tiana's Bayou Adventure without purchasing anything else, just that multi-pass, which again, the multi-pass, I'm going to go through those attractions for you, okay? So you're going to need to use your My Disney Experience app for this on your phone. We're going to go through that. For the virtual queue, the rules are pretty simple. At 7 a.m., all guests that have a ticket to the park. So again, if we're using Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind, which is in Epcot, you would have to have a valid ticket for Epcot. The day that that ticket is valid at 7 a.m., you can go ahead and try to get a virtual queue. If you're unsuccessful, or if you were at Magic Kingdom in the morning and you purchased a park hopper ticket and now you're going to be in Epcot in the afternoon, as long as you're in Epcot physically with all of the guests that you want to ride Guardians with, at 1 o'clock, you can try to get a second virtual queue. They will have a re-release of them if available. If the standby line with those other virtual queues, if they got through it, and so you have a second chance to get a free virtual queue, which gets you onto the standby line for things like Guardians of the Galaxy or Tron or Tiana's Bayou Adventure, okay? So there are some exceptions to that. So if you're staying at a deluxe resort and you're there during an extended evening hour, night, or something like that, they will re-release those usually around 6. You don't have to be in the park to get a virtual queue later in the night. And again, that's like getting probably into too much information. So if you are not sure if you're a deluxe resort guest, just give me a buzz and we'll talk about it. Okay. So some advantages of Lightning Lane multi-pass. Now, the multi-pass is the one where you are, again, booking, you are buying it for your party. You're paying for a multi-pass for each person in your party, and that's going to allow you to do multiple Lightning Lanes throughout your day, okay? So that multi-pass, you can start booking those attractions and purchasing those multi-passes. Like no more waking up the day that you're at the park. You get to purchase those multi-passes 7 days in advance if you're staying on property. Okay. So it used to be where like you were getting up and getting ready and everyone was there and you're in your hotel room and everybody's got their phones on and it's like almost 7 o'clock. And you're like, okay, you're getting the virtual queue. I'm getting the lightning lanes. You're doing this. Everybody, what did you get? What did I get? What did we do? That's over, which is amazing. 7 days in advance, you're home. You've got your lists. We can talk the night before and you've got everything. You've got your maps. You know what you're doing. So you're able to do that. Okay. And it's still going to be at 7 a.m. It's just going to be 7 days before your trip. If you're not staying on property, then it's going to be 3 days before. We'll talk about that a little bit more. All right. What's great also is that you can now see what availability for what attractions is there before you purchase the multi-pass. If you've ever worked with Genie, the Genie Plus before, you bought it and then you prayed that there were going to be attractions for you. This time you put it in your cart, it'll show you what's available, and you can decide as a family, okay, is this within our budget based on the fact that we're getting what we want, or do we not see anything, so we're not going to purchase it? So that's really great. The other great thing about the multi-pass is that you get to make 3 lightning lanes. One is from group 1 and 2 are from group 2. We're going to talk about that. It's kind of a tiered system, but you can hold 3 selections for attractions at all times, which is different. So what's great about that is you make 3 lightning lanes using the multi-pass. As soon as you're in the park, as soon as you've used one, you can rebook another. So whatever's available, you can go in with your family and you can choose another. So you're holding on to 3 at a time, which is great. So for those of you that know the old system, you had to use all 3 before you could book on one, and then you were just doing 1 at a time. This gives you 3 all the time, which is great. And you can do it across parks. So if you have a park hopper, that works too. You can do your 3 ahead of time at home for Magic Kingdom. And then if you're going to park hop over to Epcot in the afternoon, as soon as you use your 1, while you're in Magic Kingdom, you can start to search for Epcot to get your day stacked up for you. Okay, so with multi-pass, can I choose from any 3 lightning lane experiences? And again, the answer is no. There are tiers. So you have group 1 and group 2. You get to pick 1 attraction from group 1, and then you get to pick 2 attractions from group 2. I'm going to give you what those are in a minute. Animal Kingdom is the only exception. There are no groups. Everything is together with that. And again, the only exception are going to be those few attractions that have the lightning lane single pass. That's different than the multi-pass, you guys. All right, so here is the breakdown for Magic Kingdom. So with group 1, you would get, if you purchased a multi-pass, you would get to choose one of these from group 1. So it's either Thunder Mountain Railroad, Jungle Cruise, Peter Pan's Flight, Space Mountain, or Tiana's Bayou Adventure. Remember, Tiana's also has the virtual queue, which is that free, do it at 7 a.m. or at 1 p.m. in the afternoon if you're in the park to get on the standby line. Okay. So you get 1 from there and then 2 from group 2. So there's lots to choose from here. For me, the choice would always be from group 2, Haunted Mansion and Pirates of the Caribbean. Those are my 2 favorites. So you have to just talk with your family to see which is the best choice for you. In terms of group 1, it would just depend on what your family's like what their heights are. And again, if we've talked earlier, we've already talked about that, or it's in the maps that I sent you, so you can check that out. But if you obviously want to get on Tiana's Bayou Adventure, which was previously Splash Mountain, it's amazing. I've ridden it a lot of times. It's really, really great. Then I would do that absolutely first. But if that's not available, then you talk to your family. Do you want a thrill ride like Space Mountain or Big Thunder Mountain Railroad? Or do you want something like Opening Day, Peter Pan's Flight, or something silly like Jungle Cruise? And again, it depends on your height requirements and everything like that. In terms of Magic Kingdom, we do still have those Lightning Lane single pass, which is totally separate from the multi-pass. So the 2 attractions that are not included in group 1 or group 2 are going to be an additional fee, and those are going to be Seven Dwarfs Mine Train or Tron. Now, you don't have to buy a multi-pass to buy a single pass. So if you're going to Magic Kingdom and you only want to ride Tron, then you don't need to purchase a multi-pass. You can just purchase one single pass for each person in your party just for Tron. So if you're just going there for the afternoon and that's all that you want, that's what you can do. Okay, for Hollywood Studios, here are the groupings. So again, group 1 is Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. You've got Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run, Rock and Roller Coaster starring Aerosmith and Slinky Dog Dash. That's going to be group 1. So you get 1 from there. And then for group 2, you get 2 from this list. So Swirling Saucers, there's a few live shows. Sing-alongs, the Indiana Jones Stunt Spectacular, Muppet Vision 3D, Star Tours, and Twilight Zone. Again, here I would very much pick Toy Story Midway Mania and probably the Tower of Terror for this. And then again, you also have your single pass, which is available for Rise of Resistance. Okay, so those are going to be, that's going to be the only option. Rise of Resistance now does have a standby line, so you can choose to stand by for free. That line is going to be quite long, so if it's something that's going to make or break your trip and you're willing to spend a little bit of money to get that single pass to make sure that you are guaranteed to ride, then that is a good idea. Okay, lightning lanes at Epcot. We have group 1 is Frozen Ever After, super popular, Remy's Ratatouille Adventure in Paris, and then Soarin' Around the World. For group 2, we have a few shows, and then we have like Figment, Living with the Land, Seas with Nemo, Spaceship Earth, things like that. And then again, in our Lightning Lane single pass, we have the ability to do, for an additional fee, Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. Again, the only way to ride this ride is to either successfully get a virtual queue and then wait for your call back to get in that standby line. That is free. Or you're going to have to purchase the single pass Lightning Lane. And again, that can be upward of $19 per person to ride. But if it's going to make or break your trip, you've already gotten there and you want to get on that attraction, then that's something that you want to think about when it comes time to book these in advance. All right, Animal Kingdom is pretty easy. Everything is the same grouping, and you do have one Lightning Lane single pass, which again would be an additional fee, and that's going to be Flight of Passage, which is in Pandora. That's the Avatar ride, similar to Soarin'. Again, there's only one group here, so you choose any 3 of these: Dinosaurs, Expedition Everest, Cali River Rapids, Kilimanjaro Safari, and so forth. And that would be your multi-pass, that you would have to purchase a multi-pass for every person in your party in order to get those lightning lanes reserved based on availability. And the exception is Flight of Passage, which would be an additional fee. If you don't want to purchase the multi-pass for Animal Kingdom and you just want to ride Flight of Passage, then just get yourself the single pass lightning lane for that one attraction for everyone in your party that wants to ride. All right, hopefully your head is not spinning terribly. A few things that we went through and some things I might have mentioned. Again, we have the Lightning Lane Multi-Pass. That is the new paid service which allows you to book lightning lanes. A lightning lane is just that. It's a lane next to the attraction that's quicker than the standby line. Is it instantaneous? No. Will there still be a wait? Yes. Probably within 5 to 15 minutes, you're going to wait with a lightning lane, but a standby line could be 160 minutes or less or more. Who knows, right? Your lightning lane single passes are those purchase alone lightning lanes for the most popular attractions or the newest at each park. They're going to be $10 plus per person to ride that one attraction. So remember that. It adds up quickly. You want to know what you want to do. Let's talk it out together. A virtual queue is just a boarding group for an attraction. It's free. It helps Disney and you manage that standby line so that you didn't go all the way to Walt Disney World to get on an attraction, and you're waiting 6 hours and the line is out and crazy and it's terrible. So it really is beneficial, but it is not a guarantee to get in the standby line. So just know that. Okay. My Disney Experience, I referenced that. That's your app. It's on your phone. That's the way you did your dining. That's the way you're looking at your hotel room number. And that's the way you're going to be booking your multi-pass, your single pass, and managing those lightning lanes. It's also where you're going to see your photos for Memory Maker and so forth. Speaking of, your on-ride attraction photos will be included whether you purchase Memory Maker or not if you purchase a multi-pass. So if you purchase a multi-pass there and like they take your picture on Pirates of the Caribbean, if you ride it, you're going to get that unwatermarked. But if you booked with me, most likely you have the photo pass, the Memory Maker, because it's really worth the money. Really, really, really worth the money. Okay. And if you want more information about Memory Maker, we'll do it separate. Just give me a call. All right. Rope drop. I might have mentioned that. I don't know if I did. Rope drop is what we say when you get to the park as soon as it opens. So if you're planning on getting on a standby line and not using multi-pass, or you're using multi-pass, but you booked your attractions for later on in the day because you plan to get there early and do rope drop, meaning you got there and you're staying on property. So you're there 30 minutes before the park opens to the rest of the public, and you want to ride some rides and see some attractions beforehand. That's what we're talking about when we say rope drop. Park hopping, if you have a park hopper, it's an extra fee that's added onto your ticket. You can only do it for the duration of your trip. You can't have park hopper for only 1 out of 5 days. Let's say you have a 5-day ticket. You can't just add park hopper to 1 day. You add it to all or you add it to none. And that allows you to go from park to park. You can go back and forth, back and forth. If you have a single day ticket and you go to Magic Kingdom, you can leave Magic Kingdom, take a nap, take a swim in your hotel and come back. Just no, you don't have to stay there all day. You can leave and come back, and that's fine. If you have a hopper, you can come back just to your first one. You don't have to go to another park, or you can go to all 4 in a day if you want. And you can use your multi-pass across parks. So you're going to make your first 3 attractions in the park you plan to go to first. As soon as you use one attraction, you can start looking in another park if you've purchased park hopper, and it doesn't cost you additional money on your multi-pass. Okay, and those attraction groups, we talked about them. Group 1 is the more popular attractions. You get 1 lightning lane from that grouping, and then group 2, you get 2. So it's kind of easy to remember group 1 and group 2. Hopefully it is anyway. I mean, I don't know. At this point, your brain might be jello, but rewind and pause and ask me questions. It's all good. All right. So when can we purchase these things? You can purchase them 7 days in advance if you're staying on property, which includes the Good Neighbor hotels like Swan and Dolphin and Bonnet Creek and things like that. So it's 7 days in advance if you're staying on property, and you can do it for your entire duration of your stay up to 14 days. So if you're staying longer than 14 days, then you won't be able to do it more than 14 days. If you're staying more than 14 days, like that's amazing. So hello, take me with you next time. All right. So if you're not staying on property, if you're staying in grandpa's condo and you use points to get to Disney, it's totally cool. You've got 3 days in advance if you have dated tickets. And so you know what day you're going. So 3 days before those tickets, you can do that. Annual pass holders who are not staying on property and guests with other ticket types, you're going to do it 3 days before you go, but for each day. So 3 days before day 1, you do day 1, and 3 days before day 2. And so it's going to be 1 at a time. Best case scenario is to be staying on property. It's going to give you the most options and the most availability for attractions. So we're not kidding as travel agents when we tell you that you should really stay on property. There are a lot of perks, not just the amazing Disney transportation and things like that, and mousekeeping and service and everything, which is really top notch. There's also, you're spending all that money and time. You might as well get what you need. All right. So this is what the system is going to look like. And I did screenshots versus a live because it's just easier. It takes up less memory. So when you log into your My Disney Experience, it's going to look something like this. And it's going to tell you right here that you can purchase your multi-pass or your single pass or both. You're going to click purchase, and then you're going to choose your first date. Now, if you want to get something that's difficult to get, like Tiana's Bayou Adventure during a really busy time, say it's Christmas and you're planning on going like 4 days into your trip, I would go and pick that day first because it's further out and you'll have probably more options. Because remember, the people ahead of you, they were able to book 7 days in advance for up to 14 days. So just like dining, we've strategized in the same way. You're going to work it in that way. You're going to pick the park that you're going to go to first because you're going to book 3 from that. And then you're going to move on to the next screen. This is going to tell you how much your multi-pass is going to be per person for that one day. And then it's also going to allow you to check off any availability on those single pass lightning lanes. Remember, the single pass were those ones that were not part of the standard lightning lane system. Now you can uncheck multi-pass and only purchase single passes if you wish. Again, you can buy all the things that are offered or just piecemeal it, okay? So in this case, if you're going to do the multi-pass, it's $27. The lightning lane per person to get on Seven Dwarfs Mine Train is $11 for this day, and per person for Tron is $20. So again, if you have a party of 4, you've got to do the math then. Then it's going to tell you what you have selected, and you're going to choose what attractions you are going to move forward on. And it's going to give you a subtotal as you go through. So it's going to be pretty comprehensive, and it will not let you choose from tier 1 or group 1 more than one thing. So it's going to help you out. And then it's going to put some selections together for you with time. So you chose the attraction. It's going to suggest what times those attractions should be visited by you. And it's going to look at any dining or anything else that you have going on so that it doesn't give you any crossover. If you don't love the times that it gave you, you can modify the times. So if you're purchasing a single pass for Tron and you want to ride it at night, you can modify that time. If it suggested Tiana's Bayou Adventure first thing in the morning and you know you're not planning on getting there till a little bit later because you have a reservation at Chef Mickey and you're going to stay and take lots of pictures, then if the time it suggests is not late enough for you, you can modify it. And this is what the modify screen is going to look like. So here on the right, you're going to pick like the hour, and then it'll tell you what times are available and you pick one. You get to do all of this before you actually pay the money. This is what most people are really loving about the Lightning Lane multi-pass and the single pass, because you're seeing the plan before you're giving them your money. So if you feel like this is a good plan and it's worth the money for you, then you really know right here. So it's really transparent and great. Again, it's going to show you all of your selections, just so you can do any final tweaks on there. It's going to tell you how many minutes you have left. So just like when you buy tickets from Ticketmaster, you don't have an infinite amount of time. And you started this at 7 a.m. in the morning. You're going to go ahead, and once you have everything selected of what you want, you're going to click checkout, and then you're going to pay with either your stored credit card that was there holding your dining reservations, or you can use Apple Pay or what have you. You're going to do one day at a time, but again, you can do all of the days that are available to you. So it's going to be a separate transaction for each day. But at the same time, you're going to be able to see day by day what you're getting. So it's a really simple, easy thing. All right. Heads are exploding. Hopefully not. And we might have a few frequently asked questions. I might cover some. If there's some other ones, just send me a text and let me know. So can Lightning Lanes, single and multi-pass be purchased together? Yes. You can do it in one transaction for up to 20 guests. If you're taking more people than that, like, God bless you. Just kidding. All right. Can multiple days be purchased at the same time? They can be purchased at the same time, but not in the same transaction. So you can do them all 7 days if you're staying on property before you leave for Walt Disney World, but each one is going to be a separate transaction. Again, those harder to get lightning lanes, I might start at that day first. So if your first day is Magic Kingdom, that's great. You can try. But if you know you want to get on Tiana's, I would look towards the end of your trip if you're doing another day in Magic Kingdom, much like dining. And if you're working with me, then you know about that. How much did the Lightning Lane multi-pass cost? How much did the single passes cost? It varies. It's based on crowd level, time of year, and all the rest. So it's going to be very similar to Genie. That it started anywhere from $15 per person and went up to like maybe $29 to $32 during like the very, very busy season. So is it going to add a pretty like a nice chunk of change to your trip? It absolutely is going to. Full transparency, you guys, Disney's expensive with this type of stuff. But again, we're probably got you a promo on your room. Make sure that you're using your Disney Visa to get some of those discounts. If you're a Disney Plus subscriber, maybe we were able to get you some deals through that as well. And again, there are so many price point hotels that so don't stay at the deluxe if you want to do these extra things and it's breaking the budget. Okay, we don't want to overspend. We just want to give you what you want. Okay. All right. Finally, can you make Lightning Lane multi-pass selections in different park if you're planning to park up? I think I covered that, but in case your brain shut down like mine is about to, yes. So you can be in one park, you do your 7 days ahead of time, and then you use one, and then you look at another park because you have Park Hopper and you start doing some selections there. And then you want to come back to this one, you can do pick one later in the day here, modify it, and it's really user friendly through the My Disney experience. All right, is there an additional charge for using it when you're park hopping? No. So even though Magic Kingdom is the most expensive, if you started in Animal Kingdom and now you're going to go to Magic Kingdom, you don't have to have an upcharge to keep using the multi-pass. Just know that if you were in Animal Kingdom all morning, a lot of the lightning lanes might be going away and some are not available. So it's not an infinite number of lightning lanes. They do kind of sell out. So you have to make sure that you're staying on top of it while you're in Animal Kingdom, enjoying the safari, which is beautiful and takes forever. And then you go see, the Festival of the Lion King show, which is fabulous. But you have to remember, if you're going to Magic Kingdom, start looking to see what lightning lanes are available. Okay. Can I book a lightning lane selection to the same attraction multiple times? Can you do Tiana's again once you've done it? No, you can't. It's a one and done situation. So if you wanted to ride Tiana's twice, this is what I do. I get a virtual queue which is free, and I purchase a single pass. So Lightning Lane single pass. So now I know that if I get that virtual queue, I can definitely ride it twice. If I want to ride it more than 2 times, then I've got to come back to that park another day because there's no standby line and I can only buy my single pass 1 time. Okay, hopefully that made sense. All right, so some final notes. With Genie, you could make lightning lanes for like characters and things like that and entertainment. Fast pass, same thing. You could use a fast pass, say, to Fantasmic, which is a fabulous nighttime show at Hollywood Studios. But unfortunately, right now, you cannot use the multi-pass lightning lane system for character meet and greets or any kind of entertainment, roped off fireworks areas or parades, things like that. If you're interested in making sure you're in the front of the parades or you have a great spot for fireworks, then there are firework dessert parties and there are dining options that include parades and special seating and things like that. So give your travel agent or me a call and we'll help you out with that. Do you have to use Lightning Lane or the multi-pass system or the single pass? No, you don't. You don't have to. You can do standby lines for all the attractions, and anything that doesn't have a standby line is going to have a virtual queue. So you can do it without this. And if you're going during a time of year where it's not busy and the parks are dead, then you won't need this. But if you're like me, I'm a teacher and I can only go during the breaks in the summer when it's screaming hot or it's super crowded. And so it's the only way to do it. All right, that's it for me. So I hope that this was helpful to you. Again, I'm sorry to be long-winded, but just fast forward if you rewatch or you've already figured that out and rewind, jot down notes and questions, send me a text, send me an email. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And I'm here for you, whatever you need. So if you want to do this in person, I'm totally all for it. Just give me a buzz and we'll get it together. Okay. Thanks so much. Happy watching because you're going to probably watch it a million times or maybe not. But I look forward to hearing your questions. All right. See ya.